You will hear about him in your town. Next minute you're hearing about him in another part of the country. And he'll be, people will think he's one place and next he's another place. They hear about him such a place, next thing he's in their town. And he will enter every single town in the world. He will enter into these towns, in the cities, in the villages, every last one of them, except Mecca and Medina. Except Mecca and Medina. And in the case of Medina, he will go and camp outside of Medina with his followers. And after camping outside of Medina, 3 earthquakes will shake the city of Medina until the buildings were ready to fall down. And at that point, the hypocrites and the disbelievers of Medina will come out. People who will have names Muhammad and Fatima, etc., they will come out of there and join the forces of Dajjal. Among the trials that he will do is that he will call on the Bedouin type people. And he chooses Bedouins because these tend to be the most ignorant people of the religion. The Bedouins tend to be the most ignorant people of the religion. You find Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala speaking about them in the Quran, that the desert Arabs will come and tell you they have believed, but you're supposed to tell them, no, you haven't believed. Iman has not yet gone into your hearts. The harshness, how they would deal with Prophet Muhammad when they came across him, you find in their way in which they communicated with him. Anyway, the Bedouins tend to be ignorant, especially because of the fact that they live a nomadic life. They don't settle in a place, they don't have access to education. So what little they have, they travel with, and they easily lose it. So you'll find, even in Saudi Arabia today, in one Islamic center that I used to work in, we had people who came to be taught things about the religion, and among them were Bedouins. And some of these Bedouins didn't even know Surah Al-Fatiha. These are Bedouins in Saudi Arabia, not even knowing Surah Al-Fatiha. So ignorance is rife amongst them. So, in any case, Dajjal will call on a Bedouin. And he will do this in a number of places. He will call on Bedouin type people, ignorant people. And he will call on this individual and ask him, if I were to resurrect your parents, would you testify that I am your Lord? This is the question put to him. If I were to resurrect your parents, would you testify that I'm your Lord? And the Bedouin will say, yes, I would. And at that time, 2 from the jinn, 2 jinns, will take the appearance of his father and his mother. So it will appear to him that his parents have been resurrected. And they will say to him, follow him, my little son, for he is your Lord. And he will follow him. This is the kind of fitna that Dajjal will bring. He will be able to bring your parents back to life. It will appear to you that he has brought your parents back to life. And your parents will be telling you, follow him. What are you going to do then? What are we going to do then? This is a fitna like which there has never been a fitna before. Furthermore, he will cut people in half in different places. He will cut people in half, and he will tell them to come back together again, and the halves will come together and come running to him with their faces glowing, big smiles on their faces. So at Dajjal, what does he look like? We know about his powers. Well, Prophet Muhammad has described him for us. He said that he will be blind in the right eye. And the name Dajjal, which is used for him, comes from the Arabic verb Dajjala. And this verb, in the origin of its meaning, referred to the act of smearing tar on the mangy parts of sick animals, sick camels in particular. Sick camels. You want to sell your camel and he's sick. And so there will be some mangy parts of his body, you want to hide it, so they would smear tar on it so it would not be visible. It would not be easily recognizable. This is deception, of course. And from that meaning, Dajjal came to mean to deceive, to hide, to cover up. And so the term Dajjal is even used to refer to the gilder, one who gold plates things. He takes a piece of iron, he dips it in solution, and it comes out coated in gold. So that person is called, in Arabic, the term used is Dajjal. That's used. It doesn't have the other meaning, but it's covering it up. And then of course it came to refer to a person who deceives others in general, right? The person whose intention is deception, trickery, misguidance. And Prophet Muhammad ﷺ often referred to him as Al-A'war. Al-A'war meaning the one with a defective eye, or blind in one eye. And we should understand that this description is not, as some people ignorantly think, that it refers to a one-eyed man, because you have what is known as the Cyclops, right? In 1001 Nights, you have the Cyclops. Sinbad the sailor goes to an island and he finds this big huge guy with one big eye in the middle of his head. And for a lot of people, the image of Dajjal is this, a Cyclops. But the reality is that it is not a Cyclops. Dajjal is a human being. He will have two eyes. One of his eyes will be blind. And the Prophet ﷺ described that eye as being like a floating grape. It will not be still. It will be moving in the socket. And his left eye will be green in color. Prophet ﷺ had said that Dajjal عينه خضراء كالزجاج. It will be green like glass. Now, the thing is that when we use the term green like glass today, one might wonder, because when we think of glass, we think of glass as being clear, not colored. But in the past, when they made glass, because of the use of copper in the process of making glass, the glass all was green. All glass was green. So when he said it was green like glass, it means for us we understand it as green glass. It will be a dark, sort of forest green type color. And it will have a glassy glint to it. And it will have a film over the iris, something like people who have cataracts. It will be cloudy. And his complexion, according to the Prophet ﷺ, his complexion will be ruddy white. Ruddy white meaning that it will be extremely white, but there is a redness in it. People whose complexion is white with a redness in it. People of Northern Europe, the people of Finland and Norway, some parts of England and Ireland, etc. These people, they are very white until there's a redness in their skin, especially in winter when they get cold. You see it becomes almost red-like. And this is what the Prophet ﷺ referred to, different groups of people. He talked about the Abyad and the Ahmar and the Aswad. Sometimes people translate this Ahmar as red. Yes, Ahmar does mean red, but it doesn't mean they're really red people. It means these white people are so white that they're reddish looking. So he would be ruddy complexioned. This is in English, they call it ruddy complexioned. His forehead will be prominent. He'll have a prominent forehead. And his neck will be wide. He'll have a wide neck. Most of us, you can see your head and then your neck is sort of, well, his neck will be big, wide, like Mike Tyson. All the exercises he does, he develops his neck muscles, so he has like a wide neck. So he will have a similar kind of wide neck. He will be short also, very stout and powerfully built. But it doesn't mean it's like Mike Tyson now. Because he said it's ruddy white, so that rules out Mike Tyson right off the top. And if you notice the weightlifters, when they lift a lot of weights and their muscles become so big that